Is this the beginning of a breakup? Or is it a signal that something bigger is being planned by BTS? Kim Taehyung's shocking decision to take a silent step that was never publicly announced, and Jungkook's rejection of a multi-billion one solo world tour offer has rocked the K-pop world. No one expected that two of BTS's most prominent members would take paths that defy public expectations. But the question now is, what is really happening behind the glamorous stage of South Korea's entertainment world? Is this about long-buried feelings, internal pressures from the industry, or something deeper that has never been revealed to the public? Jungkook's decision to reject a globally scaled solo tour after the success of his solo debut immediately triggered wild speculation from fans and international media. Many linked the rejection to health conditions, mental burden, or even internal conflict. However, a more shocking piece of information came from inside HYBE, stating that Jungkook's decision was not due to pressure, but rather a personal principle he has held onto for a long time. Not many know that Jungkook feels there is something unfinished between him and Taehyung. And amid that tension, Taehyung instead made an equally shocking move. He quietly contacted an independent production team in Paris, announcing a secret plan that even BTS's manager was unaware of. This move immediately raised a big question mark. Are Taehyung and Jungkook planning something together? Or are they moving in opposite directions because of a wound that hasn't healed since BTS's last promotion era? If we rewind to last year, when BTS announced a temporary hiatus due to mandatory military service and individual activities, many believed this was just a passing phase. But with Taehyung's latest actions and Jungkook's unexpected decision, it's only natural for the public to wonder, will BTS return in full formation, or are they slowly carving separate paths? The surprises don't stop there. In a live broadcast that lasted only 5 minutes before being taken down by management, Jungkook appeared emotional and briefly mentioned Taehyung's name with a trembling voice. "Sometimes choices have to be made not because we want to, but because we have to," he said before the screen went black. That sentence has become a major mystery among ARMY. Many interpret that Jungkook is actually trying to protect someone, and Taehyung's name has been mentioned as the person he wants to shield from excessive spotlight. But what needs protecting? And why do both of them seem to move in silence, avoiding media and even refraining from mentioning each other in their public posts? An internal HYBE source stated that there was a secret project involving these two BTS members. But the project was postponed due to a mismatch in vision. Is this the reason behind Jungkook's rejection of a solo tour? Some music analysts believe so. They say that Jungkook feels his success would be incomplete if he had to walk it alone, without the partner who has been with him from the beginning, especially Taehyung. On the other hand, Taehyung's move to create an independent project without HYBE's involvement shows a direction that seems contradictory. Is there tension between them? Or is this part of a bigger strategy that cannot yet be announced to the public? It's worth noting that in the last few appearances where they were present at the same event, the usual glances filled with laughter have now been replaced with more serious and cautious expressions. Fans quickly picked up on this change in dynamics, and many expressed concern on social media. Behind all this speculation lies one crucial fact that cannot be ignored. Both are currently in the most critical phase of their careers. Taehyung, known for his artistry and preference for quality over popularity, seems increasingly active in visual arts and film. Meanwhile, Jungkook, the golden magne, is instead choosing to reduce his public presence. A move that contrasts with the massive offers he has received to embark on a global solo tour. The big question now hangs in the air. Why did Jungkook choose to step back when the world is in his hands? And why, at almost the same time, is Taehyung accelerating his steps in a very different direction? A shocking confession came from BTS's former choreographer, who mentioned that behind the scenes, Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship is more complex than people think. They are very close, but that closeness doesn't always come without friction. There are moments when their differing perspectives cause tension, but it has never been exposed to the public. Jungkook, the perfectionist, and Taehyung, the artistic soul, often clash in their approach to creating work. Now, With Jungkook rejecting a massive project and Taehyung stepping into a personal path, the public is left asking, is this the end of the V-kook dynamic as ARMY has known it? However, amid this uncertainty, a small clue surfaced that reignited fans' hopes. An unreleased song leaked on fan forums, featuring both of their voices. The song is not only emotional, but also contains lyrics that seem like a code. Even if we walk far apart, just know I'm still here. Who wrote those lyrics? Is this a signal that they might return as a duo, rather than as part of BTS? This situation has also led many industry observers to analyze that this phenomenon could mark the beginning of a transformation in the global face of K-pop. Jungkook and Taehyung are not just icons, they are the gravitational center of Korea's entertainment industry. Their decision to reject and take different paths will have a huge impact, not only on BTS, but also on the future of new artists under HYBE. In an old interview with a Japanese magazine, Taehyung once said that he didn't want to be a musician just because of public expectations. "If I don't feel honest with my music, then I'd rather take a break," he said. Could this be what's happening now? Does Taehyung feel that BTS's current path is no longer a place where he can fully be himself? Meanwhile, Jungkook also once said that popularity means nothing if it isn't shared with the people he loves. And now, he's barely seen interacting with many artists or media. He chooses silence. His decision to forego a solo tour has disappointed many in the music industry, but he remains unmoved. That decision was made not for money, not for fame, but for something that seems deeply personal and perhaps very painful. Whatever is really happening, one thing becomes clear. This is not just an ordinary decision. This is part of a bigger story still being written, and the public is only getting fragments. How long will they remain silent? And when they finally speak, will the world be ready to hear a truth that may be far different from the image that has long been built? After the uproar of speculation, free interpretation, and emotional analysis that spread widely among fans, the most important question must be answered honestly and firmly. Are all the rumors about Taehyung taking a surprising step and Jungkook rejecting a solo world tour true? Or is this merely the result of rumors, narratives shaped by social media, and assumptions exaggerated by the atmosphere of an overly active fandom? Based on investigations of official sources, verified interviews, and direct statements from HYBE, there is no confirmation whatsoever regarding the rumor that Jungkook turned down a global solo tour due to personal reasons involving Taehyung. In fact, at the time of writing this news, there has been no official announcement that Jungkook has been concretely offered a solo world tour in the near future. It is true that he succeeded with his solo debut and received many international offers, but there are no documents, statements, or plans mentioning that he explicitly rejected the project. Furthermore, the rumor that Taehyung is working on a secret project in Paris without management's knowledge also lacks solid grounds. Taehyung's activities during his mandatory military service are highly limited and strictly monitored by the South Korean military. It is impossible for an active soldier to be involved in a large-scale creative project abroad during their service. Even if there is involvement in any artistic or musical project, it is highly likely that it was arranged and approved officially by the agency well before his enlistment. The leaked song allegedly featuring Jungkook and Taehyung also remains unverified. The song believed to be sung by the two turned out to be a fan-made creation manipulated using AI technology, which has recently been widely used by fans to produce fictional works that sound very realistic. HYBE itself has issued several warnings about the spread of fabricated content that misleads and causes misunderstandings regarding its artists. The 5-minute live stream allegedly showing an emotional Jungkook also never occurred. There is no digital trace or documentation of such a broadcast on official platforms such as weverse, Instagram, or YouTube. This further strengthens the suspicion that the report was a result of fictional narrative that developed on fan forums and was later picked up by clickbait accounts seeking to profit from ARMY's concern and curiosity. This article, though written in a captivating and emotionally charged journalistic style, must ultimately be acknowledged as a speculative narrative with no solid basis. The information within is constructed based on interpretations, rumors, and assumptions that have not been proven true. The spread of such information has the potential to shape negative perceptions that not only mentally burden the artists, but also cloud the atmosphere of what is actually a very strong and united fandom. HYBE itself, on several occasions, has requested fans to be more selective in receiving information. They urge everyone to trust only official announcements and to be cautious of narrative manipulation that uses fragments of fact or emotional language to build an illusion of drama. Both Jungkook and Taehyung are currently living their lives with full dedication, according to their respective responsibilities, as artists, South Korean citizens, and ordinary human beings who also have the right to privacy and personal peace. They are not fictional characters in a drama, but individuals whose real lives are often far from what is portrayed in speculative media. To the end conclusion, this article is more a reflection of public affection, concern, and high curiosity towards the dynamics of two major stars. But factually, almost every element in the narrative cannot be proven true. As readers and fans, it is important to remain rational, critical, and careful when digesting sensational information.